A very good afternoon to one and all present here. I kindly request our director to invite the chief guest to adorn the dais. I request other dignitaries to occupy the dais, please. Chief guest of today's function, Professor Manoj Chaudhary, Vice Chancellor, Gati Shakti Vishwavidyalaya, Dr. N. Anandavalli, Director, CSIR-SERC and Coordinating Director, CMC, Dr. S. Parivallal, Scientist G and Advisor Management, Dr. Saptarshi Sasmal, Scientist G, Sri Mahesh Kumar, Controller of Stores and Purchase, invitees, colleagues, and my dear friends. A very warm welcome to every one of you. I welcome you all to the CSIR-SERC Foundation Day celebration. We shall now begin the function with an invocation. I request all of you to please rise.
நீராறும் கடலுடுத்த நிலமடந்தை கெழிலொழுகும் சீராறும் வதனமென திகழ்வரத கண்டனிதில் எக்கணமும் அதில் சிறந்த திராவிடனல் திருநாடும் தக்க சிறு திரை முதலும் தரித்தனரும் திலகமுமே திலக வாசனை போல் அனைத்துலகும் இன்பமுற எத்திசையும் புகழ் மணக்க இருந்த பெரும் தமிழனங்கே தமிழனங்கே உன் சீரிழமை திறம் வியந்து செயல் மறந்து வாழ்த்துதுமே வாழ்த்துதுமே வாழ்த்துதுமே.
Established in 1965, CSIR-SERC has grown into one of India's leading research institutions in structural engineering and infrastructure technologies. For over 6 decades, the center has contributed to nation's development through innovative research, consultancy, and technology solutions. Today, we celebrate this remarkable journey and reaffirm a commitment to scientific excellence and societal impact. Today, we have with us Professor Manoj Chaudhary, Vice Chancellor, Gati Shakti Vishwavidyalaya, as our chief guest. To formally welcome the gathering, I now invite Dr. S. Parivallal, Scientist G and Advisor Management. He will be delivering the welcome address.
Respected Chief Guest Professor Manoj Chaudhary, Vice Chancellor Gati Shakti Vishwavidyalaya, Director CSIR-SERC and Coordinating Director Dr. N. Anandavalli, former Director of CBRI and our former colleague Dr. N. Gopalakrishnan, scientists, distinguished invitees from government organizations, collaborators, industry partners, project assistants, students, colleagues, ladies and gentlemen. Vanakkam and good afternoon to everyone. A warm and cordial welcome to all of you to the CSIR Structural Engineering Research Center Foundation Day Celebrations 2026. It is a matter of immense pride and privilege for us to gather today to commemorate another milestone in the illustrative journey of CSIR-SERC. Foundation Day is not merely an occasion to celebrate the establishment of an institution. It is a moment to reflect on our rich legacy, recognize our achievements, and reaffirm our commitment to advancing science, engineering, and technology for national development. For more than 6 decades, CSIR-SERC has been at the forefront of structural engineering research and innovation, contributing significantly to the safety and sustainability and resilience of national infrastructure. Through pioneering research, technology development, consultancy services, and capacity building, the center has continuously addressed emerging challenges in civil and structural engineering while supporting the country's aspiration for rapid and sustainable growth. Today, the celebration is made even more special by Foundation Day lecture and Professor G.S. Ramasamy Memorial Lecture. This memorial lecture honors the visionary leadership and outstanding contributions of Professor G.S. Ramasamy, the founding director, whose efforts laid a strong foundation for excellence in structural engineering research and established CSIR-SERC as a premier institution of international repute. We are deeply honored to have with us today Professor Manoj Chaudhary, Vice Chancellor Gati Shakti Vishwavidyalaya, as the chief guest, who is delivering today's Foundation Day lecture and Professor G.S. Ramasamy Memorial Lecture. Professor Chaudhary is a renowned academic leader and strong advocate of innovation, infrastructure developments, logistics, and multidisciplinary education. His vast experience and insightful perspective will undoubtedly inspire us as we work towards building the next generation of resilient, smart, and sustainable infrastructure system for the nation. I request our director to welcome the chief guest by a shawl. Dr. Anandavalli, Director CSIR-SERC and Coordinating Director CMC, will deliver the presidential address, I think, next to this. Under her leadership, the center continues to strengthen its research capabilities, foster collaborations, and contribute meaningfully to the national mission and strategic infrastructure initiative. On behalf of entire CSIR family, I extend a heartfelt welcome to our distinguished guests, retired colleagues, collaborators and industry partners, project associates, students, and all participants who have joined us for this celebration. Your continued association and support have played an invaluable role in the growth and success of our institution. As we celebrate this Foundation Day, let us renew our commitment to scientific excellence, innovation, and service to the society. May this occasion inspire us to explore new frontier of knowledge and strengthen our collective efforts towards creating safer, smarter, and more sustainable infrastructure for the future. Once again, I warmly welcome each one of you and wish you an enlightening and memorable Foundation Day celebration 2026. Thank you. Vanakkam.
Thank you, sir. Leadership, vision, and commitment are the driving forces behind any successful institution. To share her thoughts on this very special occasion, I now invite Dr. Anandavalli, Director CSIR-SERC and Coordinating Director CMC, to deliver the presidential address.
Chief guest of today's function, Professor Manoj Chaudhary, Vice Chancellor Gati Shakti Vishwavidyalaya, Dr. Parivallal, Dr. Sasmal, Shri Mahesh Kumar, distinguished guests, respected retired staffs who are also online watching us, and my dear brothers and sisters of this campus, Vanakkam and Namaskar. So it is a privilege to stand before you on the occasion of CSIR-SERC Foundation Day. Today we celebrate not only the founding of this great institution, but also a journey of innovation, perseverance, and national service that began in 1965 and continues to shape the future of infrastructure in India. Institution was laid with a strong foundation, the foundation that has sustained for 6 decades and accommodating the need to grow forever. individual bricks laid one after another, keeping focus on nation building, bonded by the spirit of teamwork. Leadership throughout the decades have been visionary with all the wisdom and energy to venture into new areas of research. அஞ்சாமை ஈகை அறிவு ஊக்கம் இந்நான்கும் எஞ்சாமை வேந்தற்கு இயல்பு. Courage, liberal hand, wisdom and energy. These four are the qualities a leader adorn forevermore. So with the humble beginnings at Roorkee in 1965, to address the need of the southern part of the nation, a regional center was established in 1966 and turned into full-fledged laboratory in 1969 in this present campus. Demonstrated in-house grown techniques and structural forms to building confidence among the stakeholders is a truly inspiring step that translates research into reality. And CSIR-SERC has its reputation by addressing critical challenges in structural engineering and infrastructure development. From pioneering India's first fly ash building and pre-stressed concrete sleepers to advancing seismic testing, tower testing and remote structural health monitoring, our legacy is one of the consistent relevance to national needs. Over the decades, the Institute has evolved through distinct phases, from advanced materials and structural designs, innovations, to national capacity building, and then to interdisciplinary research and development. This evolution reflects not only in the technical growth, but also a deep commitment to serving society through science and engineering. Today, SERC's thrust area spans structural engineering, structural health monitoring, disaster mitigation, advanced materials for sustainable structures, special and multifunctional structures, offshore structures, and energy infrastructure. Each of these areas addresses a real and growing national need, whether in transportation, power, resilience, or clean energy. One of the most important remarkable strengths of CSIR-SERC is its ability to translate research into measurable impact. Say, for example, we were focusing on these 5 areas in the recent years, one on the structural health monitoring, disaster mitigation, and floating systems for wind and solar energy, sustainable solutions for aged and the new civil infrastructure, safety assessment of special multifunctional structures. So coming to structural health monitoring, the technologies such as FRAMS, ISENS, CIMES, where we were trying to develop indigenous sensors. These are some of the technologies or the facilities or the key leads from our research. We are taking it forward. And if you have to see what is the impact that CSIR-SERC has made in this particular area, with a conservative estimate, maybe it can be evaluated up to 500 crores in annual savings for the railways with our SHM activities. And the revenue during this last 4 years, 21 to 25, it may be around 28 crores in this area. And then in case of indigenous import substitution, around 20% through our various technologies in this particular area, and our stakeholders, as we can see, Ministry of Railways, RDSO, NTPC, all these are falling under this category. Similarly, in the area of disaster mitigation of civil infrastructure, so some of the technologies like adaptive mass dampers or fuse link beam column connections, all these were and multi-hit resistant security booth. These are some of the technologies that are outcome of this particular activity, and other computational frameworks are also we have created, and some of the facilities we have created. And as we can see, in this case, the revenue is around 19 crores during the last 4 years, and we can see how we have in case of foreign exchange, it can be estimated as rupees 100 crores per year. So each one of the activity, we are having our own impact estimated, and we can also estimate what where our where we have to focus based on the CAGR growth rate also. So coming to the next aspect of our like focus area, floating systems for wind and solar energy, which is very much required in the case of renewable energy. And then we have worked on two technologies. One is on the flow tech and the other one agrivoltaics, where we are working with our sister laboratories. And these are some of the glimpses of what we have developed under this topic. And if you have to see the benefits, if we are in the global alignment where sustainable development goals we are aligning, and also we are agrivoltaics, our additional income generation for the farmers, and also for the policy, government policy we are making in India and other initiatives we are supporting. And coming to the other aspect of our focus area, sustainable solutions for aged and new civil infrastructure. So here is a number of new materials and the technology we have come out with. Importantly to note is our last year we have inaugurated the 3D printed building, and we are taking it forward with industry collaboration. And the other aspect, expansion joint-free bridge decks with the engineered cementitious composite and also the TRC products. These are various aspects which we are working, and a number of corrosion mitigation or retrofitting aspects are also we are working. So in this case, what is our revenue, or the industry revenue is around 28 crores, and we are helping in the extending the service life of the aging infrastructure and also reduction in CO2 emission through our development, various developments. And coming to the safety assessment of special and multifunctional structures, under this topic we are working on various, say for example, steel concrete composite superstructure for rapid transportation and flexi heat module, and all these other emergency restoration system is a very big success. And I'm happy to share this year we have our US patent granted recently on this particular technology ERS, and we have also earned the largest revenue during this last 1 year, around 1 crore from this particular technology. So similarly, if you have to see what are the revenues, around 18 crores of revenue during the last 4 years in this particular topic. And also if you have to see various indigenous testing at FFL and TTRS, otherwise people would have gone outside. So we are saving nearly 50 crore of per year forex saving in this case, estimated value. And coming to our, continuously we are increasing our externally funded thing, and last year was the highest with 25 crores, and we consistently around 20 crores we are able to achieve it. And more new avenues are there for increasing this. And coming to, in a nutshell, if I have to say, we work on the 6 R&D, technology development. From the R&D we translate into technology, and then how we are contributing to the industry sector, various aspects. And we also serve the strategic sector as well as the societal contributions. Number of technologies are there, and also we take part in the Jigyasa activity and motivate our young students. And also HR and skill development is another contribution. These are the 6 verticals which we work. And then some of the unique testing facilities where CSIR-SERC has uniqueness. So one is on the piping system where fatigue behavior, the other one wind load on air taxis, and this is also carried forward with the full-scale testing, and our team is involved in that. And also real-time hybrid simulation and SHM of Paman Bridge, new Paman Bridge, and the wind-induced fatigue behavior of transmission line. Few of them I'm highlighting here. And in case of HR development, these are the numbers during the last 2 years or so. And between last 2 years, we have transferred our technologies, the cost amounting to 1.52 crores. These are the technologies which have been transferred, and the IP licensing, the other one is technology transfer. So coming to the technology portfolio, the number of technologies available, and some of them are also for societally relevant, where we are translating it free of cost also. So other future technologies, some of them which I am highlighting, which is the fruit of the last few years of efforts put by our scientists. So these are number of, we'll be seeing it in near future. It will be translated to the industries. And all these honors and awards are the recognition which our scientists as well as the institute receives for the hard work and dedication and the expertise in various fields. So these are some of the things, and L&T has honored us with the continuous support for vibration qualification and 16th CIDC Vishwakarma Award, and the recent Vishwakarma Award also we have received. And ISAMPE, this particular thing, 3 of our scientists have received various recognitions, and Institution of Engineers and also Indian National Academy of Engineering and INSA, various young associates full membership we have received, and DAD fellowship and industry postdoctoral fellowship. These are all for various aspects. I'm listing few of them. And what we are into focus as we do that, we are highlighting our success stories, our commitment, looking ahead, what we need focus clearly into the future. We'll be continuing to work on the asset management of critical and aging infrastructure with various commitments what we will be doing, and climate adaptive and disaster resilient infrastructure. This is the next area where we'll be working, and the other verticals are on low carbon infrastructure. We'll be working on various forms, material as well as functions, and clean energy infrastructure will be another focus, and cyber physical systems for enhanced safety and prognostic performance. So as we move towards prognostic performance, this particular vertical will be addressing that. So we also run a journal called Journal of Structural Engineering, and it is from 1973 we are running it continuously, and also we'll be taking it forward. So last year we had our Diamond Jubilee celebration. These are some of the glimpses of the previous year's celebration. So this was the inaugural of the celebration, and Honorable Member Niti Ayog, Dr. V.K. Sharathwal was there. And then we had various competitions, and then later we had a Diamond Jubilee conference during last May 2023, 21 to 23 last year. And we had stakeholders connect in various activities. We could see the glimpse of the retirees present during the function, and it is time to show our gratitude to our visionary leaders and the dedication of all those who built this institution over the years, and their commitment laid the foundation over which we are today, and our achievements, today's achievements stand. So right from the founder director, Professor G.S. Ramaswamy, then Dr. Ramayam, Shri N.V. Raman, Dr. T.V.S.R. Apparao, Dr. Lakshmanan, Dr. Nagesh Iyer, and Professor Santosh Kapuria. And today we'll be inaugurating the Sustainable Engineered Recycled Concrete Demonstration Building, which will be inaugurated by our Honorable Chief Guest. And this I'll just give a glimpse of what is there, and a detailed presentation will follow. CSIR has developed eco-friendly slags, cement-based recycled aggregate concrete, and recycled aggregate bricks, and recycled aggregate hollow blocks. And these studies have revealed M20 to M30 grade concrete can be developed using recycled aggregate. And we have demonstrated this building with I think 50% recycled coarse aggregate and 100% recycled sand. And the developed aggregate shows 50% low embodied carbon and 50 to 55% lower cost than OPC-based conventional concrete. And the embodied carbon for the total superstructure is nearly 32% lower than the conventional building. And today building will, and I would like to congratulate the team, entire team, Dr. Bhaskar, Dr. Anup, Dr. Kanchana Devi, Dr. Hemlata, Shri G. Ramesh, Dr. Bashya and Dr. Sendil Kumar. Congratulations to the whole team for their efforts. And then, so today we have with us Professor Manoj Chaudhary, Vice Chancellor, Gati Shakti Vishwavidyalaya, as our chief guest for our Foundation Day celebration. And he is the first founding Vice Chancellor of Gati Shakti Vishwavidyalaya, Vadodara, a central university focused on transportation and logistics. He is an academic leader and technologist with PhD from IIT Kanpur and a background in electronics and communication engineering. And he has been instrumental in shaping the university's industry-oriented vision aligned with the PM Gati Shakti mission. Thank you, sir, for your accepting our invitation, gracing the occasion with your presence. We are also entering into an MOU with Gati Shakti Vishwavidyalaya today. And each and every one of the past and present staff are important in this journey. They are the guiding spirit of this journey. Thank you all. I thank my team who are pillar of my strength to me. They are like Panchaputas, silence and giving space to everyone, Mother Earth promoting growth, adaptable like water, rapid but invisible like air, transformative like fire. Today is a day as we cherish our achievements. We need to put ourselves at a much higher platform so that we'll become global benchmark. We need to be competitive to ourselves. On this special day, let us renew our commitment to excellence, innovation, integrity, and national service. May CSIR-SERC continue to grow as a center of scientific strength, social relevance, and technological leadership. I would like to conclude with the Tirukural, Porul Karivi Kalam, Vine Idarod Aindum Irudire Nichel, which means that do act after due consideration of the 5 aspects: resources, instruments, time, action, and the context. Thank you, everyone, and once again, I wish you all happy Foundation Day.
Thank you, ma'am, for the wonderful presidential address. Collaboration between institutions is essential for translating scientific knowledge into impactful outcomes. In this spirit, CSIR-SERC and Gati Shakti Vishwavidyalaya are joining hands to strengthen academic and research partnerships. I now invite Dr. N. Anandavalli and Professor Manoj Chaudhary for exchange of the MOU, a Memorandum of Understanding. Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am. This MOU marks the beginning of a collaborative journey aimed at research excellence, innovation, knowledge sharing, and human resource development. As we continue our pursuit for sustainable and technology-driven infrastructure solutions, CSIR-SERC is pleased to showcase one of its important initiatives. Today, our chief guest will be inaugurating CSIR-SERC demo building, but before that, I request Dr. A. Kanchana Devi to provide us the salient features of this facility.
Respected dignitaries on the dais and off the dais, my dear colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon, one and all present here. So today I will be taking you through the journey of our sustainable engineered recycled concrete demonstration building. As we know, this is a very well documented fact, buildings attribute to 39% of global carbon emission. So this gives us a very clear indication, we are in the urge of introducing sustainability in the construction sector. And also, if you see, we generate around 150 to 500 millions of C&D waste. This is not just a number, because this is the number which was documented. If you see in practice, the unreported C&D waste dumping is much higher than the figure what we are projecting here. So this gives a clear indication we should do something about the C&D waste management. And also, if we see, we as a country generate about 35 to 45% of global C&D waste from India itself. So this number gives us an alarming figure. This also gives us a clear indication that we should do something really about the C&D waste management. So towards this, we started with a small step in solving this problem. So towards this, what we did, we have collected the C&D waste aggregates from C&D waste processing facility at Perungudi and Kodungayur. These two facilities are available at Chennai. So we collected the recycled aggregates from them, and we tried to characterize the aggregates and its physical properties, mechanical properties, and finally we found like 100% replacement of recycled fine sand in your concrete doesn't affect your strength and durability. This was one of the major conclusions which we came out of this study. So we also extended the study by replacing different levels of recycled aggregates, and we characterized the mixture for both strength and durability. So we could found like concrete of grade up to M30 could be achieved by replacing 50% recycled coarse aggregate and 100% replacement of fine aggregate. So we thought instead of using OPC cement, if we go with the slag cement, this can bring down the embodied carbon emission. So we tried that, and we were successfully we were successfully delivering M30 concrete with that. But only problem with the slag cement is there was a delay in strength development. But this delay in strength development can be managed if you adjust your formwork removal. So using this mix, we found like the embodied carbon could come 50% lower than your conventional OPC based concrete, and your structural cost will come down by 56%. So here to the right, you could see the cost of different construction materials. Like the river sand is around 3,000 rupees, whereas your recycled sand is only 1/3 of your actual river sand. So, and similarly, when you go with a natural aggregate, natural coarse mineral-based aggregates, it will be costing around 1,880, whereas your recycled aggregates is only nearly half of that. So means the technology, whatever we are talking, is practically feasible, and it's cost effective too. So then we finally arrived the numbers in terms of metrics. So for per meter cube of production of concrete with OPC, natural aggregate and river sand, it will cost around 4,530 rupees. Whereas in the case of the mix which we have adapted in our study, so the cost was around only 2,500. So nearly we could reduce 56% cost per meter cube of concrete. So this will lead to substantial reduction in the total overall construction cost of the building. So we also started developing the infill materials. So we started with the recycled aggregate brick development. So we made some bricks, and we also characterized for strength, durability, and also the weight and other stuffs which are needed to be qualified. So we could get a compressive strength of 18 MPa with the bricks, and the cost for the production is only 6.35 rupees per brick, and the weight and density is very close to our conventional brick. It's slightly more than the red brick, whatever which we are using presently. So this is easily handleable. So in a nutshell, if you say it has a very good strength, durability, and also in terms of implementation, it's very good, so and handy. So we also found the embodied carbon of this brick is much lower than your conventional burnt clay brick. So when you are burning, the CO2 emissions will be very high, but whereas in this case, we are doing the things only with, we are just doing concreting, and we are using only slag cement. So this brings down the embodied carbon of the brick which we developed. Similarly, we have done the development of hollow blocks. So here even with the hollow blocks also, we could, the cost per block is 24.1. So the cost, whatever I'm talking, is only the material cost, and of course the production as well as overheads that will be adding to it. So this is the basic material cost. It's around 24.21 rupees, and we could get a compressive strength of 4.5 MPa, which is very well suitable for infill application. And even here we could see like the embodied carbon of the hollow blocks what we have developed is very less than your conventional fly ash based blocks which is available in the market. And now I will just give a glimpse of the thing which we have done in our demonstration building. So the building had a plinth area of 1953 feet square. So this building was designed for office loading. So means like it's not a conventional residential building. So the loading was the building was designed to cater for the office building loading. And for the structural concrete, we have adapted recycled aggregate based concrete mixture. So here we have replaced 100% sand with instead of river sand, we have gone with 100% recycled sand, and the 50% coarse aggregate was also replaced for the structural concrete. So this could bring down the cost substantially. And for infill, we have used the bricks and the hollow blocks which we have developed in the study. We have also used concrete jollies. These concrete jollies were also developed in the study using recycled aggregate. And we used some recycled steel in this study for slabs. So for slabs, we have used recycled steel, and all this have together contributed to the reduction of 32% reduction of overall embodied carbon of the superstructure. So now so far I was telling this could be cost effective. Now let us see how good it could be cost effective. So since our soil condition is poor, we have to go with a pile foundation. So we could say like the CPWD rates for the construction of pile foundation and whatever we got, it was nearly almost fairly close. But in the case of superstructure, it's only the material cost I'm just talking about. So in the case of superstructure without services, the CPWD rates estimate is around 2,873 per square feet for construction cost, but we have landed up with 1,370 rupees, which means per square feet there was 1,500 rupees reduction in the construction cost of the building. So this is really a very big number. So we are doing this with waste material, and also it will be a sustainable building, and also it's cost-effective building. So this is a small milestone which I can say which we have achieved out of this study. So I thank you for patiently listening.
Thank you, Dr. Kanchana. I request the project team of Mission Mode Project HCP 54, Waste to Wealth, Comprehensive Solutions Towards Circular Economy and Sustainability, Dr. S. Bhaskar, Dr. M.B. Anup, Dr. A. Kanchana Devi, Dr. T. Hemalata, Shri G. Ramesh, Dr. V. Bashya, and Dr. K. Sendil Kumar to join us on the stage for the virtual inauguration. I now invite our chief guest, Professor Manoj Chaudhary, to virtually inaugurate CSIR-SERC demo building. Thank you, team. Thank you, sir. The Foundation Day lecture is one of the most anticipated segments of today's program. We are privileged to have with us an eminent academic leader and visionary whose contributions have significantly influenced higher education and infrastructure development in our country. To formally introduce the distinguished chief guest, I now invite Dr. Saptarshi Sasmal, Scientist G, CSIR-SERC.
So the Honorable Chief Guest, Professor Manoj Chaudhary, the beloved Director, Dr. Anandavalli, Dr. Parivallar, Advisor Management, Mahesh Kumar sir, Dr. N. Gopalakrishnan sir, that who is the former director of the CBRI, Dr. Satish Kumar sir, the SICs, the senior scientists, and the students, my friend, and also the NTPC, the course participants. A very good afternoon to all of you. It is my pleasant duty to introduce formally, I think most of you have already known him because from the morning that he has gone through the labs and he has interacted with you, to introduce Professor Manoj Chaudhary. Professor Manoj Chaudhary is currently working as the first and the founding Vice Chancellor of the Gati Shakti Vishwavidyalaya. That Gati Shakti Vishwavidyalaya is the central university created through the Act of Parliament and is focused on the entire transportation and the logistics sector. Professor Manoj Chaudhary is currently on the leave from the IIT Jodhpur, where he is the professor of the Electrical Engineering Department. He also served as the Dean of the International Relationship at IIT Jodhpur. He received his PhD from the IIT Kanpur. Prior to joining the academia, Professor Manoj Chaudhary has had a very vast and illustrious career and experience over the 2 decades in the technology industry as a top technologist, having worked with the leading companies such as the Samsung Electronics and the Texas Instruments. He was the senior director and the head of the system LSI R&D of the semiconductor chip business at the Samsung R&D Center at Bangalore. In this role, he led the business unit and grew the team from the 5 times to the 1,200 the R&D engineers. You just think of the volume of the R&D engineers that he has handled. And he has also led a member team to develop the world's first 5G chip and the world's first 108 megapixel camera for the mobile phone. In the 2020, he was selected as the director of the CRI also. So Siri Pilani, I think that, so that there is having also the connection about over this having a CSIR. This is in the Central Electronics Research Institute at Pilani. Dr. Manoj Chaudhary is the Finance Committee Chairman and the member of the Management Council of the Semiconductor Laboratory SCL. He is also the chair and a member of the several technical evaluation committees for various ministries, so such as the Telecom, Electronics and the Energy. He also served as the independent director of the board of the Jodhpur Discom, the electricity and energy. Very well recognized internationally and also at the national level, Professor Manoj Chaudhary has won many awards, so such as the Marwar Ratna Award, Most Influential Chief Vice Chancellor Award, the Logistic Visionary of the Year. So these are the few of the awards from the whole list of the things, so I'm just telling you. And Professor Manoj Chaudhary has 31 granted patents in US, Korea, European Union and India, and is the frequent speaker at the national conferences and the national television. I think by now that you know that, so who is the most apt person for the today's the chief guest lecture. So with this very brief biodata from that, I have seen many things, so I have made the brief of it. So I would like to request Professor Chaudhary to come over here and to deliver the CSIR-SERC Foundation Day, as well as the Professor G.S. Ramaswamy lecture. Sir, please.
Namaskar. Firstly, I want to congratulate the entire SERC family for 61 glorious years of your contributions since 1965. I am thankful to the respected and very dynamic director, Dr. Anandallah ji, for inviting me to this institute today, and to all the dignitaries sitting on the dais. I know one thing, that you have made tremendous contributions over last 61 years, and I'm pretty sure that many more will come. But one thing I noticed, and I can easily say, an institute is not only about the technologies it develops, an institute is also about the culture it has. In my limited interactions with around 20 people today, I can safely say that You have a very vibrant culture, a culture of caring, a culture of empathy, and I found with every single individual I interacted. So my hats off to you for having such a culture of the center. A Foundation Day is also an occasion not only to reflect what all we have done so far, but also to dream what all can be done in the years and decades to come. With a great foundation led by Professor G.S. Ramasamy, whose memorial lecture I am supposed to give, you already have great things done. In my talk today, and I have not prepared any notes, I have not prepared any slides, I want to talk extempore about where we are as a country and where we want to go as a country and where SERC can play even bigger role than what it has done in the last 61 years. When I say for SERC, it is equally true of my organization, that is Gati Shakti Vishwavidyalaya. Today, we have come together in a partnership that was just announced, that in several areas which are important to us, important to our country, we shall work together, whether in academic programs, whether in joint research programs, whether in executive training programs. In summary, to strengthen the entire bridge engineering and railway infrastructure in the country, the two organizations, SERC and Gati Shakti Vishwavidyalaya, shall work together. I also want to congratulate you on a very, very important initiative on the sustainable building that was just inaugurated, and I'm so fortunate that I could be part of this event. Friends, before we look at what we can do, it is also important to understand the realities in which we are operating. Today, our country is growing very rapidly. Just concluded financial year, we already saw an close to 7.8% of GDP growth, one of the fastest growing country in the world. But a country's growth is not merely or not only about the economic growth. As a country, how are we looking at inclusion? How are we looking at diversity? How are we looking at per capita happiness besides per capita GDP are some of the important aspects that our country is known for and we are looking very strongly at. If we look in our country today, infrastructure has become one of the very, very defining factor. With 140 crore people aspiring to develop this country into Viksit Bharat by 2047, our infrastructure sector is becoming the backbone of the country. Let us have a glimpse of what all is happening in the infrastructure sector. Firstly, let us look at the physical infrastructure. All around us, we see construction and construction happening. Whether be railways or metro or highways, there is a tremendous pace of construction that has been happening in the country, and there, with every single construction that is happening, the role of structural engineering is paramount and central to that. In railways, today, we have close to 136,000 kilometers of track length. We today run around 25,000 trains every day, including 14,000 passenger trains, 11,000 freight trains. Last financial year, that ended on 31st March, we had 741 crore passengers who took travel via Indian Railways, almost equal to the entire population on planet Earth. Last year on Indian Railways, we carried 1.67 billion tons of freight, whether it be coal, it be energy, minerals, cement, and whatnot. This was second highest in the world. Last year, in India, we made number of locomotives that are more than the combined total of locomotives that are made by entire Europe plus North America plus South America together. Therefore, a big push is happening to revolutionize Indian Railways. Today, through Amrit Bharat Station Redevelopment Scheme, we are modernizing railway stations, 1,308 of them. Why? Because railway stations are not merely transit hubs. Railway stations are located at the nerve center of respective cities or towns. They are great places, whether for economic activities, whether for religious activities, or many things. And therefore, railway centers are also spiritual hubs of the towns and cities they are located. When we redevelop these railway stations, entire economic activity around them shall significantly change. If we look in improving safety of our Indian railways, significant progress is made. While there should be zero accident, we all agree that there should be zero accident, there should be zero fatality. The number of accidents, consequential accidents, 10 years before, maybe around 130 a year, have come down to 16 last year. And this year, with focus on advanced, with automatic train protection technologies like Kavach rollout, we are expecting that safety shall further increase. Safety is also a critical infrastructure. In one single day, 472 kilometers of Kavach installation was recently done. Today, Indian Railway is 99.6% electrified. If you look what is the meaning of that, I think it is very easy to look with the recent West Asia crisis. Had it not happened, what kind of a struggle we would have seen when we want to carry close to 750 crore passengers a year, and what kind of difficulty would have happened. Recently, Indian Railways took its biggest leap for sustainable focus and have introduced a hydrogen power train between Sonipat and Jeet. Therefore, Railways is not only progressing strongly, Railways is looking at safety as an important paradigm. Railways is looking at passenger convenience, its availability, accessibility, and affordability for all the passengers, as well for the freight transportation. In India today, you know, in the months of May and June, the energy and electricity demand rises significantly. Recently, we heard that this year the peak demand increased to 270 gigawatts. But we did not feel any pinch anywhere because railways carried enough amount of coal in a timely manner to all the thermal power plants so as to ensure that there is zero inconvenience to our common citizens of the country. Of course, India, with One Earth, One Family, One Future vision, is putting a big emphasis on building renewable energy infrastructure. With a goal to be 500 gigawatt by 2030, we have already reached 258 gigawatt. And we are pushing strongly amongst all the four segments, whether it be solar energy, wind energy, biomass, or hydro. All aspects we are going very strongly. If we look at highways, national highways today, 10 years back, they were constructed at a rate of 16 kilometers a day. We are today, every day, 35 kilometers per day, national highways are getting constructed. And a new target of 60 kilometers per day has been set. If you look at the recent Dwarka Expressway, wherein a significant couple of million tons of waste from the cities, plastic waste, has been utilized to build Dwarka Expressway. If you look at the recent Ganga Expressway between Meerut to Prayagraj, this 596 kilometer of expressway actually has utilized and put a big focus on sustainability through waste utilization. Today in our country, one of the challenges that we look at is what people call as logistics cost in the country. What do we mean by that? Logistics cost, in a very simple language, one can consider that if you have to move 1 ton of cargo by 1 kilometer, what is the cost you incur? Logistics cost impacts all of us, directly or indirectly. Let me give some example. If the coal that I was referring to be carried to thermal power stations, if per ton per kilometer cost of carrying coal to thermal power stations, ultimately we the users will end up paying more electricity charge for per unit. If a vegetable, if a kisan want to bring his vegetables or his anaj to mandis, and if the logistics cost is high, we, the common people, will end up paying more money because ultimately the cost has to be done somewhere. If there is a production that is happening in the country, if there is a manufacturing that is happening in the country, and we want to export that item, but site from where this is manufactured to the point of port where it has to be exported, if the logistics cost is high, then our products become non-competitive in the export market. Therefore, logistics cost in the country have tremendous impact on our journey further. It is estimated that logistics cost in the country was close to around 14 to 16% of the GDP, whereas developed countries have roughly between 6 to 8%. So logistics cost, therefore, is absolutely important. Government has put a big focus on improving logistics cost in the country. There are many ways. One of the example is dedicated freight corridor. The Eastern dedicated freight corridor and Western dedicated freight corridor together now have been completed. This 2,843 kilometer of dedicated freight corridor, which is now connecting Jawaharlal Nehru Port to the hinterlands, right, is only 4% of the entire railway network, but already carrying 13% of our freight. Whether by road transport, as I mentioned, we have increased our potential. In aviation sector, the number of airports we had were 74 around 10, 11 years back. Today, we have 163 operational civil airports in the country. Every single day, more than 5 lakh people are taking air travel. This is another form of infrastructure. If you look in our port sector, we have 12 major ports and 200 non-major ports that carry 90% of our international trade. If today India is a $4 trillion economy, aspiring to become 35 trillion by 2047, naturally, it is very easy to understand that we need to expand our port capacity because we have to export more because we need more goods and trade to happen. Therefore, first time after 50 years at Vadhavan, a new port, a greenfield port is getting created, which cabinet approved at a cost of 76,000 crore rupees, another form of infrastructure. Last year, in 2025, for the first time, railway line reached Jammu and Kashmir. This 272-kilometer project, Udhampur, Baramulla, Srinagar project, have 941 bridges and 36 tunnels. It shows the importance of bridge and structural engineering and tunnel engineering. Last time, for the first time, in Mizoram, our rail line reached. That means we are building rail lines and rail connectivity is now happening in remotest corners of the country where, for example, there is a tough terrain. If you look at Karnaprayag route, the big work on the tunnel is happening. If you look at India's first bullet train project between Ahmedabad and Mumbai being such a congested city, lot of focus is happening on tunnel engineering, on structural engineering aspect that will be used to build bullet train. In budget 2026, even while the first bullet train project is getting completed, 7 new high-speed train corridors have been announced. There is already a new freight corridor announced between Dankuni to Surat of 2,150 kilometers. Therefore, to summarize, across railways, across highways, across port sector, across aviation sector, entire infrastructure sector is booming in the country. If you look in metros, today 25 cities have metros, and metros is expanding in every city with new line coming up, with new expansion. Another example where structural engineering plays a great role. Therefore, in the entire infrastructure journey of the country, structural engineering shall continue to play a great role. Today, India has thousands of bridges which are old, starting with maybe the latest one you look at, Chenab Bridge, world's highest railway arch bridge, which is taller than the Eiffel Tower. If you look at Anje Bridge, a cable stayed bridge. If you look at the Pamban Bridge, I'm talking of the engineering marvels that were done in last year, that were opened last year. India's vertical lift sea bridge. These are all engineering marvels, and each of them has had significant amount of structural engineering research gone into them. When India has thousands of bridges that were designed, constructed 80 years, 70 years, 100 years back, today we are at a juncture where structural health monitoring of them becomes very, very important. And that is where, when I looked and had a chance to visit laboratories in SERC, important laboratories like wind, important laboratories like structural health monitoring or fatigue analysis, they all have tremendous potential to contribute more to infrastructure sector. Our university, which is India's only university in the transportation and logistics sector, anything that moves people, goods or services across land, air or sea is our mandate. And therefore, we have tremendous potential to co-work and do much more together. If you look in India today, apart from physical infrastructure, tremendous progress happened in digital infrastructure. If you look in our digital infrastructure, today 1.2 billion people have Aadhaar, which is great identity infrastructure. If you look today, last month alone, 30 lakh crore of transactions happened through UPI, which is a great transaction infrastructure. If today we can access all our credentials using whether DigiYatra, DigiLocker or wherever, it is a great digital infrastructure India has created. I want us to be reminded that this digital infrastructure that the entire world is envy about is created by India, by Indians alone. There is no multinational or nobody involved in that. If you look in our country's own history, when 1974 Pokhran blast happened, when 1998 Pokhran blast happened, there were international sanctions on us. There was technology denial regime on us. Today, India is a superpower in space. Last year, in defense manufacturing, we had more than 1,30,000 crore of defense manufacturing done in India. We were an importing country as far as mobile phone is concerned. Today, the biggest supplier of iPhone 17, the latest phone, to US is what is assembled in India. Such is the transformation that has happened. So with this transformation, our role becomes even more important. Today, we are in a scientific establishment and we have a big role to play. We all know that in terms of percentage of GDP, India spends is quite less, maybe around 0.64% of our entire GDP is spent on R&D. While our R&D has grown and therefore funding has grown, but we also have to put much more focus on science and research. Government has taken great initiatives recently, whether through Anusandhan, National Research Foundation, ANRF, whether through RDI scheme and so on. It is also therefore our responsibility and expectation on all of us that when this kind of an environment is getting created, irrespective of the quantum of funding, which itself is very huge, at least one thing that has happened is there is a great focus happening in the country to increase awareness and scientific temper in the country and to focus on technology. We all know that technology is one of the biggest enablers for economic growth. Today, US is world #1 economy with $30 trillion economy size because it has technology-oriented companies. It has NVIDIA, whose market cap itself is $4 trillion. It has Apple, it has Microsoft, it has everybody is almost $1 trillion kind of a market cap. If India have to also become from 4 trillion to 35 trillion as Viksit Bharat, we have to also push strongly on knowledge-based economy. Who will create this new knowledge? Scientific institutions like this. Who are responsible to convert knowledge into wealth? It is scientific institutions like us who have a mandate. We cannot only and only aspire to have funding. We also have to generate enough knowledge that can translate into economic wealth. And therefore, when in this environment we are living, we have to leverage the power of collaboration and synergy amongst us so that the knowledge we create, because problem solving is not about one domain, it is multidisciplinary approach. When we can solve a problem, be it for railways, be it for any transportation sector, be it for defense, this knowledge that we can create together, we have to work in a collaborative manner together to transform and contribute to the economic growth of the country. Unless we do that, nobody else will do. That is the expectation from premier organizations, scientific organizations like us. And it is in that context that I want to urge all of us that after 61 years of foundation of SERC, or we will also, for example, complete 4 years of foundation, so we are still in infant journey, but we have taken tremendous steps together. Today, our university is recognized as the World Economic Forum for setting a template for industry-academia collaboration across all of the country. Today, more than 70 industries are working with us. Today, we have already set up a Center for Sustainable Aviation Fuel funded by Airbus France in our university, which is already working. Today, we are doing research for Amazon in a funded project. Today, we are working with New South Wales government for adaptive traffic management solutions. I'm talking of a journey that if we decide, जैसा कि प्रधानमंत्री जी कहते हैं यही समय है सही समय, if we decide that this is what we have to do today, then we cannot look back and say that अभी तो 3 साल ही हुए, अभी तो इतने ही साल हुए. We have to do something very, very strongly. And I want to once again congratulate all of you on your Foundation Day. I want to once again thank Dr. Anandavalli ji for inviting me here. And I want to once again repeat that we have a great responsibility towards the nation as scientific leaders in the country, that when we are having increased funding sources, increased awareness, today when India has 2 lakh startups, today when India has 120 unicorns, why cannot more unicorns come in transportation sector? Why cannot we together work to create this kind of startup culture, so that startups are not only about services, it is also about the infrastructure, it is also about the logistics and many of the areas we talk together. Thank you so much. Jai Hind.
Thank you, sir. Your insights have inspired us and reinforced the importance of innovation, multidisciplinary collaboration, and excellence in engineering for the development of our country. As a token of our gratitude and appreciation, I request our director, Dr. N. Anandavalli, to present a memento to our chief guest. Thank you, ma'am. On behalf of CSIR-SERC, we express our sincere gratitude to Professor Manoj Chaudhary for gracing this occasion and sharing his valuable thoughts with us. To propose the vote of thanks, I now invite Shri E. Mahesh Kumar, Controller of Stores and Purchase, CSIR-SERC.
Respected dignitaries on the dais, a very warm good evening to all who are at this August gathering. Just like our advisor sir and all of us spoke, Foundation Day is not just a date in the calendar. Then what it is? It is a symphony of gratitude played in the heartstring of every staff, scientists, technical staff, directors, and others who walk through the halls they have built. This is the Foundation Day, and we have seen this 60 years of our foundation. As we enjoy this warmth of this Foundation Day celebration, it is my distinct privilege and honor to propose this vote of thanks on the occasion of the 61st Foundation Day celebration of CSIR-SERC. First and foremost, I would like to express my deepest gratitude to Professor Manoj Chaudhary ji, Vice Chancellor of Gati Shakti Vishwavidyalaya, for gracing this occasion and delivering a wonderful lecture. His insight on the infrastructure, the past, present, and the future was really admiring and inspiring us to take forward. Thank you, sir. I extend my hearty and blissful thanks to our beloved director, Dr. N. Anandavalli, ma'am, for her visionary leadership, giving us a clear roadmap, and for the exciting journey and the constantly motivating us to push forward, whose tireless efforts in the lab and the field continues to bring laurels to this institute and pushes the boundaries of science and innovation. Your guidance is the cornerstone of our institute's continued success. Thank you, ma'am. My appreciation goes to all our erstwhile directors, the scientists, research scholars, and whose groundbreaking research has directly impacted the society at large, and also to our nation's progress on this Foundation Day. A special acknowledgement is due to all the organizers, the members from the administration, finance, purchase, horticulture, electrical, canteen, and other supporting section who, though not specifically mentioned, have meticulously planned and worked behind the scenes to make this Foundation Day celebration a grand success. Last but not the least, I extend my sincere thanks to all, including our staff and from SERC and CMC, special invitees, for being a part of this memorable occasion. Now, let us carry forward the spirit of joy, the scientific inquiry, and the national service as we look forward to another great, remarkable year of excellence and achievement. Thank you, one and all.
Thank you, sir. This brings us to the conclusion of the CSIR-SERC Foundation Day celebrations. I thank you all for your gracious presence and participation. Now let us all raise for the national anthem.
जनगणमन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल गंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उज्जल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मांगे गाहे तव जय गाथा जन गण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे
Thank you. Please join for high tea outside. After 15 minutes, I request all of you to join for the inauguration of the SERC demo building, which is on the west side of the Advanced Materials Laboratory. Thank you.